Let's talk about Mount Pleasant Crest. This BTO is located along Mount Pleasant Avenue, bounded by Old Police Academy Road and Wong Chin Yok Road. The word crest in the project reflects both the historic Old Police Academy grounds and the distinguished legacy of the Singapore Police Force that once trained here. The project comprises 4 residential blocks, including 1 block dedicated to rental flats. The remaining 3 blocks, each standing at 40, 45, and 46 stories, will offer 1,348 units of 2-room flexi, 3-room and 4-room flats, where 2 of these blocks will include 26 rental flats each. This project will also offer a new wide flats layout for 3-room and 4-room flats, providing flat buyers with greater flexibility to configure their living spaces within the flat. In terms of on-site facilities, this project will have a preschool, an eating house, supermarket, several shops, and residents network center. Residents can also enjoy a variety of recreational facilities such as playgrounds, fitness stations, and a hard court. There will also be 2 sky terraces on level 37 and level 34 of several blocks, providing scenic views of the surroundings. In terms of the classification, as expected, this project is categorized as prime flats, which comes with 10-year MOP as well as other strict rules. In terms of estimated waiting time, unfortunately, this project will only be completed after 59 months, which is the longest waiting time for a BTO in this October launch. Please also note that this project comes with 12% subsidy recovery or subsidy clawback. Now let's talk about the site plan. So this is the site plan for Mount Pleasant Crest. So just to give some information in terms of the color, so this kind of pinkish color is the 2-room flexi. This one, the bright yellow, is 4-room, green is 3-room, and then the light yellow is the rental flats. Now, for Mount Pleasant Crest, there are several blocks where it is combined between the rental flat and the 2-room flexi, which is this one, number 169, and then number 123. You can see the legend actually on the right side. See, when you see the combination color between pink and yellow, that indicates that basically some floors are dedicated to rental flats. The supermarket, eating house, etc. is basically here under block 105. And if you are wondering, because this is Mount Pleasant Crest, right? Which one is facing the cemetery? Okay, let's look at the other map. Okay, so if we look at this map, basically Bukit Brown Cemetery is here and then Kopi Suah Cemetery is here. So this is the same plot, meaning the part that will have the view of the cemetery would be this part basically. But having said that, it seems like for the site plan of Mount Pleasant Crest, there's no perfect block per se, because again, this block 105A, like some of the units will face the cemeteries. Personally, I don't have any problem with that, but I know that a lot of people has concern, so that's why I am explaining it. And then for block 100A, again, as mentioned, unit 123 is basically a mix between rental flats and BTO units, as well as 104A also has mixed situation here for stack 169. And then this block 101A is purely for rental flats. I kind of feel bad for them because it's, you know, some units will face the bin center directly. If we look at the number of stories, it varies for different blocks, but they are quite high. So for example, like block 100A is up to level 46, block 104A is up to level 45, etc. And why is this important to know is because we want to know whether the number of lifts is still adequate or not. So if we are going back to this site plan, so the number of lifts seems a lot. So for example, this one is 6, this one is 9. It seems a lot, but then if you notice how many units will be served by those lifts, as well as how tall the towers would be, the proportion between lifts and number of units seems to be very tight, shall I say. Another thing that we need to consider is that if let's say you are lucky enough to get a queue number and then it come the time for you to pick your unit, notice that with this layout, there are quite a lot of units where if let's say you are in the kitchen, like people might see you from the walkway. So that is something to take note of. As much as possible, of course, you would want to get the corner unit. In terms of exposure to expressway, looking at the map, actually, the expressway is not that close. Most of the blocks will have some distance to the expressway, so that's good. However, as far as I remember, I think this Thompson Road is still quite busy. So that is something to take note of if you are interested to apply for Mount Pleasant Crest. Now let's talk about the pricing. For 2-room flexi, the price ranges from $209,000 to $373,000, and then for 3-room, the price starts at $411,000 to $552,000, which is actually quite good if you consider the nearby resale price is already like reaching $850,000 as we speak right now. You can imagine that the price will most probably continue to increase over the next 10 to 15 years or so. So if we compare between the resale price versus the BTO price, the gap is about 54% for 3-room flat. And then for 4-room flats, the price starts from $558,000 to $787,000. But then the nearby resale price is already well beyond $1 million. Again, the gap is about 50+%. So that's very good. As a reminder, because Mount Pleasant Crest is a prime flat, there is a subsidy recovery which is defined at 12%. Regarding the waiting time, unfortunately, this project is the longest to complete from all the projects in October 2025 BTO launch. It will take about 59 months until this project is completed. So please take note of that if you are planning to apply for this project. Anyway, now let's talk about the location. Okay, so this is the map that HDB gave, and if we go to Google Map, I think this is the corresponding location. So it's about this part. So the famous cemetery that people kept mentioning is actually not exactly nearby. So it's around here. Yeah, it's not that close. The nearest MRT station is Mount Pleasant MRT station, which is about 300 meters, so definitely within walking distance. In terms of potential unblocked view, based on the map, I think if your floor level is high enough, you can get some unblocked view because you see here, these are just greeneries, but then at the same time, it's cemetery as well. So it's this one and also this one are cemeteries. But then, I don't think the tombstone would be that obvious if you're high enough. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Now, if you want more amenities as the area is still developing, you can easily go to Toa Payoh, which is this part, or you go to Balestier, which is this part. So it is quite near to amenities. Regarding expressway, we do have expressway right over here, but it's not directly side by side with the project itself. There is a couple of blocks distance, so hopefully that would reduce the potential noise that you might get. If you like outdoor activity, Makrichi Reservoir Park is just maybe a short bus ride away. So I think it's going to be convenient if you like jogging, or maybe a light hiking. In terms of healthcare facilities, Thompson Medical Center is over here, so that would be convenient if you are expecting a baby. And then on the other hand, Mount Alvernia Hospital is over here as well, so it's relatively quite close in my opinion, although not within walking distance obviously. What about school options? As you can see on the map, there are some options. The nearest school would be CHIJ Primary and also Secondary School, and then you also have Marymount Convent School, Raffles Girls School, etc. So there are some schooling options surrounding the area. For those of you who are a little bit nervous about the proximity to cemeteries, if you see on the map that HDB gave, actually this portion on the left is allocated to proposed health and medical care. If we see the Google map, so the BTO would be somewhere around here, right? And then, and the cemetery is here and then here. So what will be closer to the cemetery is actually the healthcare facility. Hopefully that is comforting for some of you who still feels unsettled with the proximity to several cemeteries. Okay, so what do I like about the project? I like that you can walk to the nearest MRT station, so that's good. And then in terms of on-site facilities, this is quite complete because you would have even supermarket, you would have several shops, an eating house, etc. So that's good. And remember that this project is located in Toa Payoh town, so there are a lot of amenities nearby. For singles and seniors, I also appreciate that this project will have quite a lot of two-room flexi supply, so that's good. And for families, I think it will be a good selling point that you are going to be close to several popular schools as we have discussed. Even though the cemetery factor might play into it, but I do still believe that in the long run, this project still has a very high resale and rental value potential. Okay, on the other hand, what don't I like about this project? I think the fact that this project is sort of nearby two cemeteries, it will have an impact at least to some potential buyers in the future. I know that some people argue that even like Bidadari, Ang Mo Kio used to be a graveyard as well, but I think the difference with Mount Pleasant BTO is that you can still see the graveyard, so you can still see it, and I think that's part of the challenge with this project, but personally it would not be a showstopper for me. And then of course, given that the area is still being transformed, you should expect to experience construction dust and noise from the surrounding developments, at least probably 5 to 10 years down the line, maybe, hopefully not as long as that. Another thing about this project is that the entry price is on the higher side because of the high comparable surrounding the area, so that kind of sucks, but that's the reality. And then the restrictions will be quite strict, but then that is what you can expect nowadays with Plus and Prime project. It is the reality. But in summary, for me personally, this project is still very good. It ticks a lot of boxes like distance to MRT station, schooling options, on-site facilities, mature amenities, etc. This project is quite solid. I think the watch out would be just the proximity to cemeteries. If you want to look at it from a positive angle, the application rate for this project probably would not be as high compared to if there are no cemeteries nearby. So if you don't mind with the fact that it's near some graveyards, I think you should consider this project very strongly. All in all, this particular project is one of my favorite. If you want to know more about other projects, check out my other videos in this channel. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!